Hey there folks, Cholera here, and bringing you Game 5 of the Proleague All-Stars. For those of you who are watching it just a day or two after I've uploaded this, Game 4 might be missing. It's because Diggity wanted to do a special commentary of it, and you can check it out on his channel. Otherwise, in a few days, this game, that game should be up, and for those of you who are watching it later, of course, you haven't noticed it being missing. Now, this is Stork vs. Fantasy, replay of the OSL that was played, I believe, 2 seasons ago, where Stork, of course, beat Fantasy in a very close best-of-5 series, coming, I think, 2-0 from 2-0 behind against him, and just beating him in the end, though. So very, very, you know, interesting matchup between these two players. Definitely, I'd say both are in contention to be the best of their races at any given time. It was the Incruit OSL, played about a year ago, in fact. Yep, maybe 10 months ago was the finals. And yeah, I mean, absolutely, these two players are among the best of their respective races. Their series went to a Game 5, and it was basically Fantasy's basically it was Fantasy's multitasking and different kinds of builds versus Stork's solid, smart play. I mean, Stork is the kind of player against Terran who is just so good with certain types of builds that it is almost impossible to beat him unless you go for something that is new and tricky, such as what Fantasy does. And the thing about Stork is that you can't kill him. You can put him behind so much in a game and he comes back like it's nobody's business. He is like one of those insects where you could chop off like 3 out of its 7 legs and it just keeps crawling and crawling, and after you squash it, it's still twitching. Even if it's gonna die, but instead Stork just comes out of nowhere and you know, comes up and bites you in the face again, and then goes and lives in your room for a long time on the ceiling, where it's really annoying. And that's what Stork does. That's the name of his game. It's survival. I mean, he's often behind and he wins. So basically, I think you need something tricky to do it. There's some Americans, of course. Oh, I'm sorry, I said that. There's some Canadians, of course. Oh man, white people is what I should say. From now on, I'm just gonna say white people. Sorry there, Canada. You are not part of America. Or not the way colloquially it's used, at least. So there is, this is, I believe, Neo Medusa, by the way. I don't think they would be playing Medusa 1. So Neo Medusa between these two players, and the series went to a Game 5, like I said, on maps like Medusa. Medusa was one of them, and Stork won Medusa. Just take a look at the record. He won Medusa, in fact, against Fantasy. There, of course, is going to be the final matchup of the day. That is none other than Bisu versus Jaedong. Definitely the best, or pretty much indisputably the best of their respective races. Stork in contention right now, but Bisu still on top on the Protoss race. Really, Terran is the race that is kind of up for grabs right now. Kind of I'd say a 3-way between Lita, Fantasy, and Flash, with people arguing different points about each of those respective players. But definitely, Bisu is up there, is probably solidly ahead of Stork, just in terms of performance, recent titles, all that jazz. But of course, Stork is always dangerous. Now, Fantasy, oh, look at this! Stork is just going to go straight up for that 12 Nexus here on Medusa. Definitely a build that is done often on this map against Terran, I think. Partially because I think it's it's fairly easy to hold against a Terran rush. There's a fairly narrow choke point, and because thinking from the point of view of the other player, I don't know what the hell that is, by the way. If you look at the other players' play, it's also easy for Terran to expand. So most likely, Terran is going to find more value in going for a fast expand build. Than for a fast rush build. Of course, that's there's the metagame factor. Is the Terran knows that you know that, so he might go for a rush against your expectations. But on the simple analysis, at least, the Terran most likely goes for fast expand, so you might as well go for an even faster expand. And because fast expand Terran builds generally don't involve the ability to kill off a 12 Nexus. All right, that was kind of a long-winded explanation, but that's a cute girl, by the way. One on the left. One on the right looks like Hyuk a little bit. So we're seeing a 2-gate here, core and 2 gates for Stork. That is a pretty standard follow-up to the fast expand. And most likely we're going to be seeing Fantasy going for, well, actually, I'm not sure he's necessarily going to go for a fast expand. I think he will, though. I believe I saw only one SCV on gas. So I'm going to guess that is what it is. Yeah, it is going to be an expansion build here after Factory. And it could be a double expand, in fact. On maps like Andromeda and Medusa, Terran often do this. Just to be able to get even on bases with the Protoss, who's going to do this most likely, and therefore be ahead economically. So I mean, I think Stork's obviously his best unit, I would say, is the Reaver. We're gonna see if he decides to go into Reavers after this 12 Nexus. His early Reaver play is just devastating, though. I mean, I'm serious. Like, I wonder what Stork's record would be if every single game against both Protoss and Terran he just went for Reavers. He just went for like 1-gate Reavers every single game, or I guess against Protoss he went for like 2-gate Reavers. I have a feeling he would actually like win more titles if he just went for Reavers every freaking game. He is that damn good at it. I kid you not, man. If he went for a standard Reaver rush every game, Stork would probably win everything. It's because he likes to fall behind. Like right now, he's gonna fall behind that he doesn't do, you know, the right things. But I gotta say, man, I can't believe Stork allowed this to happen, or Fantasy was able to let this to do this. I mean, he's gotten, man, 2 vultures in. They're gonna cause. Oh man, this is disastrous. In fact, for Stork, I haven't really. I just forgot for a second how early on the game we're in. I think the vultures may have like, yeah, 3 and 2, so 5 probes in between each other, and finally, that probe's gonna finish off that harass. But incredibly big win there for Fantasy, definitely propelling him into the lead.